And I'm back. Excuse me, I apologize that I've been gone so long. Later on, I'll do a whole little clip of where the fuck I've been. Kind of been on this emotional coda recovery journey. It's a long story. Anyways, right now I want to talk about language and the power of language. More specifically, the language we tell ourselves and how it has the power to dictate the direction of our thinking, right? I'll give you an example I'm sure we can all relate to. Man, these prices are high as fuck. I can't afford this shit. All right, let's analyze that style of thinking for a minute. Once you say, I cannot afford this shit, right? I cannot. Right there, you're already shutting off the brain's desire to want to try and solve this problem. Your brain's going to know that I cannot solve this, so what can I do about this, right? And it's going to try, initially, it's going to complain about it. And obviously, from what we know from personal experience, complaining gets you fucking nowhere in life. So nothing's going to happen. So your brain's going to be like, well, what else can I do about it? So you're going to look for another problem in the situation, and you're going to complain about that. Nothing's going to happen. And then you're going to continue to look for problems and complain, and nothing happens. This happens a lot of times. This is the style of thinking you'll find when you, in relationships and you're with people who continuously argue and inflate the situation's problem, but never want to come up with a solution. That's what that style of thinking does. When you speak to yourself, and I can't do that. I can't afford this. We can't fix this. What it does is it sets the brain on a path of finding problems and complaining about them, right? So let's look at a different style of language that we can say to ourselves. Inflation is a motherfucker right now. How can I afford this? How can I continue to not only afford this, but continue to buy those steaks and have those fancy dinners? Now, let's look at this style of thinking, right? So when we talk to ourselves in hows and asking questions in life, what this does to our mind is puts us in a direction of solving problems. Because look, there will always be problems in life. The question is, what the fuck are we going to do about them, and how long are we going to let them affect us, right? Because initially, all problems, issues are going to affect us emotionally initially. But we can sit there and dwell on the problem and more problems within that problem, which will only keep us in that state, right? But if we start to change the language we speak to ourselves by saying, I can get through this, right? And it happens in all areas of life, right? The language, once you change that language, it happens in your finances, it happens in your relationships, right? Now, when it's about finances, we say to ourselves, like, how can I afford this? Well, obviously you need to make more money. So how can you make more money? And then automatically the brain's looking for things, right? And it starts to come across TikToks about side hustles, and then you start looking up side hustles, and then you find one, and you apply it, and then boom, you start a small business, like vending machines. And that's it, man. That's the power of language. So watch what the fuck you say to yourself. It's hella important. Or like the very first agreement, be impeccable with your word. I love y'all. Live well, love strong, laugh as often as you can. It's good to be back.